Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Bull City Hangout. I'm Pat Murray. I publish the Durham 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟, that's Durham, North Carolina's online community paper. The Bull City Hangout is tell you what's happening today in Durham, and then invite you to join me on camera. So let me get started here. Everything is from the Durham 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟, durhamskywriter.com. Usually I start with the school tools page because it is lunchtime, but real quick, I wanted to tell you about two very important meetings happening right now, which means I don't mind if you leave here and go to one of those meetings because this is very, very important. I mean, the whole point of the Durham 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 is to get Durham residents to get involved in the community. So this first meeting I want to tell you about is the NC Impact Initiative and UNC TV. They're co-hosting the NC Impact Virtual Town Hall, all about child well-being and coronavirus. That's going on right now until 1 o'clock. You can get tips on how to deal with both your child's physical and emotional health during these really difficult times. The link is right there on the Let's Go page of the Durham 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟. The second meeting, the Coalition for Affordable Housing and Transit, they're holding a special meeting right now until 1:30, and it's about gaining support for the tax assistance program for low-income home buyers. A lot of us, we own our own homes. We're not bringing a lot of money, but our taxes are high. So they don't want to lose us as homeowners. At least that's what I read here. So attend this meeting and get some tips. Now, the reason they're having this special meeting tonight is today, right now, is because tonight the City Council is meeting and the Durham County Board of County Commissioners, and they'll be talking about the tax assistance program. So I just wanted to let you know about that right now. So if you want to leave now and go to those meetings, that's fine. You can watch this on the replay. Now let's go to the school tools page real quick. And I always tell you, because it is lunchtime, and if you are in need and you're running out of food, this is a beautiful way for young people ages 18 and under to get bagged breakfast and lunch from these schools. These don't have to be the school that your child attends. Just go to your nearest school. You have until 12 o'clock. I'm sorry, it is 12 o'clock right now. You have until 12:30 to get to these particular schools. And by the way, adults can get non-perishable food supplies and casseroles made by local restaurants. Okay, so you have until 12:30, real quick, to get to Bethesda, Eno Valley, Githens, Irene Harris, Hillside High School, Parkwood, or Sandy Ridge. And then you have until 1:30 to get to Burton, Lakeview, Shepherd, Southern High School, or Southwest Elementary School. There you go. So that is the school tools page. Oh, one more thing, yes. Chicken Hut and Healthy Start Academy, I've been telling you about their partnership where you can go in and buy your lunch at Chicken Hut. And if you're in need and you can't buy lunch, that's okay, because they are giving away boxed lunches for kids only, for young people. Healthy Start Academy, they're sitting inside Chicken Hut giving away boxed lunches for young folks. I think that's incredible. While supplies last. So it says until 2 o'clock. You might only have until 1:30. There's a lot of people in need. So just head there now if you need to get a meal for your child. All right, let us go now to the word page. Or rather, let's go to the cover story page, because it is June 1st, and the City of Durham and Durham County, the Safer at Home order is going into effect. It has already gone into effect as of 8 a.m., and then it will be in effect until further notice. The rules for us here in Durham are a little bit more stringent than in the rest of the state. And I do describe right here on the cover story, the Durham 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟𝗟, I do list what the new rules are in terms of how many people can enter restaurants. Some businesses are being opened slowly but surely. So anyway, just just read all about it on the cover story of Durham 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟. All righty, now let us go to the legalese page, because there's a couple of very important meetings, which I alluded to a second ago. Durham City Council, they'll be meeting at 7 o'clock. Of course, it's going to be a virtual meeting. The links that you need to participate or watch can be found on the legalese page of the Durham 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟. And also, the Durham County Board of County Commissioners, they'll be having a virtual meeting. That's going to be today. The budget work session is today at 1:30, so in just a short while. And then tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, another budget work session. So again, if you're really interested in this tax assistance program in particular, check those out. And the agenda for the city council meeting, by the way, there's a link for that as well, so you can know what they're going to be talking about. I think that's it. Let me check the Let's Go page real quick, and I don't want to leave anything out. Let's see, let's go to the Let's Go page. So I told you about the NC Impact meeting, Coalition for Affordable Housing and Transit. This is today. Legal Aid NC, they're hosting Home. That is the housing on Monday evening. It's like a forum where they talk about a range of housing related topics. So if you're interested in having questions answered or just want to check it out, you can go there. It's going to be from 4 until 5. Of course, it's online, and the link can be found on the Let's Go calendar and events page. Okay, I told you about City Council. Last but not least, Local Pops Story Time with Amy Godfrey is going to be tomorrow morning from 10:30 until 11, and it's just very cute. I mean, it's like a nice, just a half hour of fantasy for the young people. So check that out. It's going to be on the Local Pops Facebook page, and of course, the link can be found on the Let's Go page. Weather report: it is 70 degrees and sunny. It's going to be sunny all day, going up to 75, and tomorrow's going to be even better. It's going up to 84. It's only going to be partly sunny, but I will take that. Now we have a special guest here. Her name is 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 𝗖𝗜𝗧𝗬. She's the founder of Empowered Minds Academy. So let's welcome her real quick. Let me just do this as an introduction. Welcome, 𝗕𝗨𝗟. How are you? You are muted. Let me see if I can fix that. Wait, click on the microphone. There you go.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that Let's Hang Out title sequence. That was fun.
Thank you. I thought I'd just add a bit of levity. Times are so rough right now.
Yeah, so that was great. That made me giggle, and that felt very good for my belly. That was good.
Oh, good. Well, I'm just now meeting you. You introduced yourself to me. You've been watching Bull City Hangout, and you told me about, I had heard of Empowered Minds Academy, but I haven't visited and didn't know much about this school. So I'd love for you to tell us about it, how it got started.
Well, yeah, now I was telling you that I've seen you around in the community for years. So I'm excited to be on your program. I love how you've morphed into the virtual world.
I love it.
Yeah, to stay connected to the community. I'm smiling broadly because I'm excited about more people seeing our space as well, especially because we're signing a lease on our new location today.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a big deal because it's a location that families, our team, and our learners can really be proud of. So I'll invite you to see it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we're going to be located in downtown Durham, basically, which is amazing. We know how inaccessible downtown Durham is becoming in these times, or how inaccessible it is.
Yeah.
And our location is going to be right across the street from the renovated main library.
Sweet.
Right next door, directly adjacent to a public park, and within walking distance of another park. So
okay, because I know you held an event that I almost went to, but I just couldn't swing it. It was like a fundraiser a couple months ago.
Yeah, we had a fundraiser. In fact, it was part of our Move to Grow to Move campaign because our previous locations, while I am so thankful for our previous locations, it was challenging because collectively we didn't feel safe. wholeheartedly safe. So we realized that moving into a space that is attractive and more strategically located. I'm not sure how careful to be with my words, but just a place where parents can just feel more comfortable about where their children are. So our previous location, we didn't have access to green space, and I needed to go outside every morning, especially on warm days, to make sure there weren't any needles in the yard.
Wow.
So picking up trash, picking up needles.
Wow.
Had to make a connection with a local nonprofit to have something to safely put the needles in. So that's just not sustainable.
That is not something you should have to be dealing with.
Right. So if we want to grow as an independent school, we needed a new location. So yeah.
I understand. So what kind of school is this? I asked you when we were talking on the phone if it's a charter school, and you said no.
Yeah, we're an independent school, so we are tuition supported, independent private school. So our parents keep us going. So we have relied on a wonderful donor, I'll just say it, to really help sustain us in the past couple of years. But we are very optimistic that we will be a sustainable, thriving private school by, within a year and a half. So our goal is to find families who see the value in what we're doing and what we're offering. Our goal is to offer a high quality academic, social, and cultural experience. So we want to offer a holistic experience for Black learners. So we're excited.
Okay, so for those of us who just went to regular public school,
yep, me too.
What is different about your school?
Well, yes,
because you did mention. Did I hear the word tuition?
Yeah, so we are. Our annual tuition is $7,425. So that's 11 monthly payments of $675, and we do offer need-based scholarships.
Okay.
So
I guess I definitely want to know what the difference is now.
So yes, I went to public school all my life as well, and college, but in a short way, everything is pretty much turned upside down at Empowered Minds Academy. So the adults in the space are not managers of behavior. We don't manage their bodies or their voices. So it's not a coercive, top-down, adult-centered model. So everything you can imagine about a traditional model is flipped. So my role as one of the guides is to equip our learners to lead themselves and take over their learning and manage their workspaces.
Whoa.
So ideally, after about 5 to 6 weeks of equipping at the start of the year, we should observe learners leading themselves in all or most aspects. So
it sounds like an elevated, like Montessori or something.
Yeah, it is Montessori inspired, especially in our Spark studio or in our studio where learners are ages 5 to 6. Most of their experiences are hands-on, exploratory, work and play kind of go hand in hand. You can't really tell the difference between play and work. So they have large chunks of time to negotiate what they're going to do. And of course, they're given, options, resources, and, once they're equipped to manage their spaces, of course, they clean up their own spaces. So they're given large chunks of time in which to manage themselves, and then that continues in the elementary school studio and middle school. We don't have high school yet, but
okay. So I was reading ages 5 to 13 basically for now.
Right.
So I want you to describe a typical day, ignoring the fact that everything is shut down.
Right.
Actually, you said your school is in session.
Right. It's likely that middle school we're going to finish next week.
Okay.
But when the stay-at-home orders were put in place, we were able to continue the following Monday. So we didn't have to deal with the scramble of what are we going to do? How are we going to manage ourselves? Because we already spent the whole year equipping them to manage themselves.
Nice. So let's ignore coronavirus right now. And I would like for you to describe a typical morning. Because the way I grew up on the south side of Chicago, you walk along the black line quietly. You sit at your desk, you fold your hands, you say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right.
And we got older, we got to sing the Black anthem as well. And sat quietly for, I don't know, 40 minutes.
Right.
And observed the teacher, took notes. You know, it was very regimented.
You might be like me and a whole bunch of other 40-somethings. I mean, I'm close to not being 40-something anymore, but it was around my 40s where I started asking myself, what do I want to do with my life? You know? So at Empowered Minds Academy, that starts really early. You know, where do you find joy? What are you curious about? What sparks your interest? So again, that's something that's flipped. But yeah, typically in traditional spaces, it's about compliance and order, and you get rewarded for how well you follow those orders.
Because I remember the teachers telling the boys, why can't you be quiet and well-behaved like the girls?
Well,
and I was like, because they're boys.
Because they're boys. And then for the most part, the traditional model is designed for girls. It's not designed for boys. In fact, we actually have a challenge. We're recruiting more boys than girls, and we actually need girls. So we keep having these conversations amongst ourselves about why is our model attracting boys? So we know why. You know, it's a non-traditional model. You know, they can move around as they please, and their genius is safe in our space. So
typical morning is, how does it start?
So this is our typical day. From 8, well, this is a sample schedule. We haven't talked with parents about when we'll start our day. We might start at 8:30, we might start at 9. But if arrival time is at 8 o'clock, then from 8 o'clock to 8:30, learners are playing with one another, connecting with one another, putting their things away. And those who want to might be reading on a cozy couch. So it's up to them how they move their bodies. Do they want to go outside and play, or do they want to come inside and cozy up and, you know, get an early start on something?
What if they've had a rough weekend? Because sometimes students do act out, but we don't ask them what's wrong. Instead, we tell them, go sit down, you know. I'm sorry. Oh, it wasn't that rough. Oh my God. But you know what I mean? Well, what if a student comes to school or online and you can see they're troubled by something?
Right.
With your being the type of school you described, sounds like you could deal with that better than a
online is really tough. I think connecting authentically online is a challenge, period. And I know that's one reason why we're looking forward to being in person. And because we're a small community, we may be able to operate within that gray area. I do want to disclaim that, though. We have to really make sure there's consensus with our parents. But you know, someone has had a rough week. You know, my first answer is that we equip Panthers to have one another's backs and to really check in with one another. So odds are, once they engage with one another, they'll feel better. So I think that as guides, that's our first go-to. You know, did you check in with one of your buddies about your weekend? Or so it's not necessarily our role to sit down with them and act as an expert. We're not expert counselors or therapists in that way. And that's something we let parents know that that's not a role that we play, but our role is to really equip Panthers to check in on each other, practice empathy, kindness, listening.
I don't know why I asked that. I was just imagining sometimes kids come to school angry and
Oh,
then they're shut down.
oh, sure, yeah. And of course, you know, if we notice that as guides, we'll check in. But 9 times out of 10, in fact, more than that, their community picks them up. And we see moods shift and change all the time as a result of being in community. So, but that 30 minutes in the morning is so important. We want them to connect with each other before starting the day. So after that, we have a 15-minute launch. We call it a launch because it launches them into their day. And as guides, we're either equipping them, inspiring them, or connecting them. So we're either connecting them as a squad with gameplay or connecting them by giving them a tool. I'm not sure, but something to build their community and connect to each other. Inspire, we might talk about a shiro or hero in the community or in ancient times to give them just a horizon, something to model themselves after, or to equip them. You know, let's discuss a new rule that's being proposed by someone in your squad. Do you agree or disagree? Equipping, discussing how to use a certain material, or looking at strategies for solving a really tough math problem. So it's just a bunch of different things. So after the first launch, then there's that first big chunk of time that they use to do math, reading, writing, whether it's using adaptive software or hands-on tools or journal writing. So
are they like 40 minutes apart, or?
No, and yeah, we don't chunk the time up like that. We don't say, okay, 20 minutes for spelling, okay, 30 minutes for math. So we're not controlling their time. So we're equipping them for independence. We're equipping them for lifelong learning, real lifelong learning. So we don't want to equip them for, it's like, oh no, I'm out of school now. I need someone to manage my time. So that is not the idea. So when, you know, so ideally when you observe that core skills time, you'll see learners doing all types of things in a self-led, learner-led way. In our younger studios, there may be a break in there to go outside with snacks. So then there's another chunk of time for exploratory play or work. After lunch, which is a full hour, is the hands-on project time, or we call quest time. So every 5 to 6 weeks, we deep dive into some sort of subject. It might be community gardening, or last year we did climate science, climate activism. It might be Latimer's electricity lab. So it's something that's real world and hands-on.
Here's a question from Dr. Itachi. She's an instructor.
Oh, cool.
So she's wondering, what successes have you seen with this model?
Oh, that's a great question for our learners. Yes, I'm tremendously biased. So I love this model. So yeah, where do I even start? Our Panthers, yeah, this is where I think it really helps if there are actually Panthers here to speak.
But next time you can come on again with some students, because we did talk about that.
Yeah, because we had an info session last night, and I was like, gosh, they were just talking yesterday. I just wasn't sure about, you know, back to back. But because they are equipped to lead their own learning, learners who are in a model like this, or in this learner-driven model, tend to be confident when it comes to talking to people of all ages. They tend to be very, very much able to solve their own problems. In fact, they want to. When an adult is out of the studio, the behaviors don't change. So I remember when I taught traditional school, typically when the adult left the space, that's when it was time
spitballs fly, desks are overturned.
That's when it was time. Also because, another thing that is flipped upside down, I don't grade or evaluate anything. There's no letter grades. There's no homework. Yes, it's, I feel like I'm way more used to saying that now, but it's a pretty radical, different.
That is radical.
And it's not that new, but it is. I don't grade or evaluate their work. That's what we don't do. As guides, we don't do that. However, they write a lot and they evaluate and peer review one another's work. And
writing is just, to me, the key to everything.
Yeah, it is.
Reading and writing, I swear.
And, the research says that peer-to-peer teaching, peer-to-peer learning, peer-to-peer evaluation is way more effective than adult evaluation. So that research is there.
So it sounds like your school would appeal to the mature, inquisitive child. I don't know if mature is the right word.
Yeah, I don't know. I talk about that with my son about maturity and how it's necessarily an age-related thing, And this model is so big on failure, mistakes, using frustration and those things to grow.
Wow.
And so it's kind of through those things that we grow and mature, because every choice we make is our own. The choices that they make are their own, whether they bring good consequences or bad ones. So
what about those those typical end of grade tests? Excuse me, end of grade tests and the fact that you have to score certain.
It's really we don't value standardized.
That's the word I was going for. Standardized.
Yes, it's a mouthful. Standardized tests. We do use the Iowa, however. We typically do the Iowa at the end of the year and at the beginning of the year. And when we send out the letter to parents, they can actually decline the Iowa. So we're not driven by the standardized test. However, we use it to see how's it going. Is this experiment working? Every educational space, every educational institution, no matter how archaic, is an experiment still.
But you can still measure growth somehow, though?
Right. So we use the Iowa as one tool, but it is not the tool that we aspire to or reach for. So we just use it to see how things are going, and parents can use it to inform, but we're not driven by it.
So who is your average student, or you? I like how you call them learners.
Right. We my son's making so much noise in the kitchen. I'm just on a live thingy. I couldn't get my earbuds to work. So
that's okay. That's fine.
So you said.
What was that? Your typical learner, if there is a typical learner.
And we're not obsessed about semantics, but we say learner because that puts us in community with them. We're very just aware as adults of that hierarchy. If they're students, then that by default makes us teachers. So because there's no teachers at EMA, we say learners, and that puts us as adults on our own journeys as well. So I'm a learner, and I focus on being curious versus having something to disseminate or teach.
Okay.
You said a typical learner?
Yeah, I mean, who do you appeal to?
Oh, okay.
As a school, yeah.
So we are really excited about reaching families who have an entrepreneurial mindset. So that doesn't necessarily mean they have a business, but entrepreneurs tend to look at failure and struggle and risk differently than other people. They take risks.
That's true. They say every successful business has failed at least 3 times.
Right. So So families that have an entrepreneurial mindset or a creative mindset or a growth mindset, those are the families we would love to attract, or families who are interested in something different, interested in pushing themselves. And I think family because this model is really different, and the entire family has to be all in to this model. So when we say Shero's journey or hero's journey, your child may have some struggles in this space. They might come home crying because a fellow traveler in their community wants them to clean up after themselves. So they're holding them accountable. They don't like it. It's like, I don't listen to other people my age. I listen to adults. I'm just making this up.
Yeah.
Or, you're trying to get your badge approved. That's a whole nother aspect of this model. Are you trying to get your badge approved for your book review? But, the excellence committee is saying, well, this badge review is lower quality than your previous one. So we can't approve it. So that, it's and as adults, we just sit back and watch this all happen.
That's nice. How much technology do you use, and do you encourage the learners to do things online, like create like videos and books and things like that?
So that's what makes this learner-driven model possible. And in our space, the technology is a tool, but it is not the model. So we use adaptive gamified software that emphasizes mastery. So we use Khan Academy, and we're very careful to make sure that Khan Academy isn't math. We don't want our learners to view Khan Academy as math, but also creative experimental play, collaborative problem solving, inquiry-based projects as math as well. So we're really excited about adding hands-on and collaborative math activities next year. So we use Khan Academy. We may be using Dreambox next year because that allows learners to master math concepts and there isn't so much reading involved.
And I guess interested parents should write these down and look at them online to see what they are, right? Khan Academy and Dreambox.
I think
if you're interested.
If parents were interested, it would be wonderful if they visited the website because it's not all about the tech, but that's some of the software that we use. We're looking at IXL reading, any software that delivers high quality mastery-based learning. But besides the technology, it's lots of books, real world books.
Good. So is it empoweredmindsacademy.org?
.com.
.com.
We'll be a .org hopefully in about 120 days.
Okay.
We submitted to become a nonprofit about 30 days ago. So
okay, awesome. I just wanted to let people check out your website as well.
Yeah, thank you.
When it comes to Empowered Minds Academy, again, I assume that you're looking, even though school is ending next week, you're looking for the new batch of students to start up again in August, September? Or?
Yeah, I've told my board and Ms. 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟, our elementary school guide, that even though a lot of parents have made their decisions for the fall, usually parents decide by January. I'm choosing to be optimistic and determined. And again, especially because, I'm simply more confident because we have a wonderful space. In the past, I struggled with marketing because I told myself, I don't think families will want to come here because of where we're located. Yeah. But my goal is to attract, 15 or so new families to our model. And all they have to do is visit the website, and we have a couple of quizzes or surveys that they can use to do research. There's a step 1 that it's just an opportunity for them to see if they're a good fit for this model, because they're choosing a philosophy. Parents are choosing a belief, and everything that we believe is on the website. And our goal is to deliver 100% what's on the website. And then step 2 challenges them to do research, which might take about 2 weeks, because we ask them to read a book. So there's this book here that we give parents for free, so they can learn about how the model works. We have we also send our postcard that has our top 10 things you should know about Empowered Minds Academy. So we provide some of the tools they need to do research to really see, does this work? Are we all in for this model? Do we want to do this?
Okay. How long have you? When did you start Empowered Minds Academy?
Yeah, we'll be going into our 5th year.
Okay.
The first 2 years, we weren't yet what we're an Acton Academy affiliate now, but during the first 2 years, I wasn't yet affiliated. If I knew that I could be, I would have. But the first 2 years, it was time to be out of my home. My home was not a place to do school, and it was time to be out of the space. So the first 2 years were really about, do I really want to do this for a living? Are my children okay with leaving the house every day, every morning? Because we've never done that. Because I homeschooled for 13 years before that. Before that, I taught 7 years of public school. So the first 2 years, I still appreciate the families who were with me that time, but it was experimentation. It was about what works, what doesn't work. And then the 3rd year, our first staff member joined us, Ms. 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟, and it was during that year that we became affiliated with Acton Academy. So we had access to tons of tools and frameworks and systems. And but we've made it our own, because we're the only affiliate right now that intentionally targets Black families, and that just lights us up. And so then another 2 years, and now we're going into a space that.
Congratulations! That's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
So I guess I suppose your first students were little ones, right? So you haven't seen, or have you yet seen students to go on to high school yet?
Yeah, that would be my children. I tell my daughters I wish that Empowered Minds Academy was founded sooner, because maybe if it was founded sooner, they'd still be at Empowered Minds Academy. But that's just a mommy thing. But our oldest daughter is at middle college.
Ooh.
And
those are for ambitious students. That's pretty serious. Is that the one that's at NCCU?
It's at Durham Tech.
Or Durham Tech, because I know there's one at Durham Tech and one at NCCU.
Yeah.
And and tell me if I'm wrong, but when you graduate from, I know there's early, and then there's middle college, high school. They graduate with an associate's degree, right?
Yeah, you can graduate with an associate's and
graduate high school with an associate's degree. Yeah.
And our other daughter attends Hillside New Tech.
Okay, cool.
So my son still attends Empowered Minds Academy, and I'm hoping he'll stay through high school, but we'll see.
It's working on it. So you do want people to check the website. Is there any kind of a deadline in order to enroll your child for the fall?
That's a great question. I guess the easiest answer there would be that our enrollment is open right now. And if you're interested, please start the process as soon as possible, because we would love to engage and really meet families early. And I would love for some of our current parents to meet, because it would be great for them to start as soon as possible. That way we can prioritize other things, before the school year starts.
Because your school is so small, are the parents able to somehow get together and join like some kind of a tribe of sorts?
Yeah, so we're currently 10 families, and 2 families have joined us, and then we have families who are already in the current pipeline of, checking us out, asking questions, learning what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to go to our website and look at our calendar, we have parent meetings throughout the year, and there's also something we call family teas, where parents can come into the space and observe a launch, and then hang out and observe. And then parents can meet in another space and just talk to one another, or talk to a guide about, if there's any questions. So the model is very transparent. And there's even a software that we use called the Journey Tracker that allows parents to see everything that their learner is doing.
Nice.
So we don't carry grade books. There's nothing confidential in that way. They can see everything. So I've heard it been called homeschooling 2.0.
2.0.
It's a very homeschooler friendly model, and Montessori inspired, and it's about equipping them for independence. So if any of those things resonate, we hope to meet families. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟, thank you so much for telling us about Empowered Minds Academy. Wow. You. And I hope this coronavirus thing ends soon, because I want to see your school.
Well, you actually can see it. We take official possession on June 20th, and I've given physically distanced tours. So
okay.
Yeah, that is no problem. You can see it before the fall. Yeah,
I will. I will. We'll talk.
Okay.
And maybe I don't know what you're going to do on June 20th when you have when you officially move in. I don't know if you're going to live stream it or what.
That's actually a suggestion of one of our parents who's on the board, is to, in fact, I should do that today, but make that an event and do a live stream for that official day.
I can probably help, because you did say this is a huge thing for you to even come here on Facebook, and I didn't tell you that you're also on YouTube. But anyway, we're talking among friends.
Right. No, I felt really comfortable. This was great.
Oh, good. But I can definitely help you if you want to actually live stream your event, and you might feel a little shy about it. But I can help you.
That would be great. Yeah, we did a virtual info session on Thursday, and I was trying to do the tech DJing for Zoom and Facebook Live. It crashed. It was horrible. So I told myself, I'm not doing that again. Just Zoom. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I think now I don't know if Tachi's still watching, but she was alerting us to the fact that Facebook. Is it Facebook or Facebook Messenger has these rooms now?
Oh.
Which is better than Zoom, I guess. And you can have as many people in there as you want.
I'll check that out.
So all the parents can be there, if I'm not mistaken. Now I use StreamYard, and with StreamYard you can have up to 6 people on camera at the same time. And I'm broadcasting to both Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out, because I still want to learn and get better. And it was actually on Thursday a great demonstration of our model. It was a failure, right? And so the goal was, okay, what do we need to do differently next time? So, it just, that was real learning for me in the moment of what to do better. But I'll definitely look at StreamYard, because the goal is to stream more.
And also, Tachi did say, yes, it is Messenger. Where, like, Messenger's now like a separate app, so to speak. And so you can open a room in Messenger. Actually, you can do that from Facebook, if I'm not mistaken. When you go to write a post, you can actually create a room.
And then go live? Can you go from there?
How does it work? I'm not sure. I'll look into it and let you know. But I love your idea.
Oh, thank you.
Because my mom was a kindergarten teacher. My dad was a social worker. And one thing that really, how can I put this? I got really good grades. I loved school.
Yeah.
But what really put us on the right track was that they got us started early and taught us a lot along the way. For example, when we were to write a book report, Pop would ask us, well, who wrote the book? I'd say, John Smith. He said, who's John Smith? I don't know. So he said, how can you know where he's coming from if you don't know who he is? And then he would explain that the slave owners were the ones who always said, oh, the slaves are happy. And he said, you have to know who's saying the words. You have to know who they are. And that allowed me to consider not bucking authority, but like questioning everything.
Yes.
And knowing who's, oh, and Tachi's explaining you can't go live with Messenger. Okay. It's like a meeting. So it's, so in other words, I like the idea of teaching kids independent thought.
Yeah, and to ask their own questions. So that's what I like about the story you told. You know, it's all about learners developing their own questions, their own curiosity. And that's really powerful. Yeah.
I love it. One more question. So suppose, okay, so we just had, I just watched the launching of the astronauts going up to the space station. So what about current things like that? Suppose there's a kid and he's really enamored of the rockets and the outer space and all that. Are you able to fold in current events into the curriculum?
Right.
Or the self-guided, rather, curriculum?
And so I'm going to go to that side of the spectrum that we aspire to. Ideally, that learner would lead their own inquiry or their own independent study. And that could look different for a 15-year-old, you know. It might be an independent project badge that they could earn for a deep study into, is it rocket science? They might even pursue an apprenticeship at SpaceX or at some rocket science lab. So it's different for every learner. So then, or if you have a 6-year-old and they're deeply interested in rocket science, how do we recognize it? Is it because they were doing a puzzle, or they kept molding every piece of clay they found into rockets, or you know,
trying to tell you something,
or books, you know? So in that sense, you know, with following the child, maybe we would add more resources to feed that curiosity. So I think it would be different for every learner, but ideally they are leading that inquiry. And we're looking out for it and supporting them by offering tools, resources to explore it.
And I think that we'll end up having a bunch of young folks who will end up having jobs or starting businesses that are actually aligned with their interests and talents.
That's where it's at. I mean, that's what, you know, at least that's what I do. I read books and articles that say that's where it's at all the time. You know, it's in.
I assure you, that's where it's at.
Yeah, when you find your what you're deeply curious about, or you find an injustice. So yeah, so that's starting in middle school. That's the focus. You know, finding that calling, that it'll be an injustice or an opportunity or both. And you know, they're exposed to different you know, subjects and experiences that allow them to find, you know, figure out where do they find that spark.
I like that, because the reason I started my newspaper in Chicago was because I was tired of my community being maligned in the press all the time. They never said anything positive about Woodlawn. It's a low-income neighborhood, sure. There's a lot of good things happening. It's a wonderful community, but they only come out when something bad happens.
Exactly.
And I got tired of it.
Yeah, and letting learners know, or letting our Panthers know that that's how it works for most human beings. It's either an opportunity or an injustice. That's what drives us. You know, what gets you angry? What brings you joy?
I love that. I love that. And I love that the learners are called Panthers.
Yeah, and that was their idea. So there's actually a blog post, but I don't think I attached it to the website yet, but
Mm-hmm.
they were, they chose Panthers, they chose the colors, and so yeah.
I am so interested in learning about more. And 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟, thank you so much for being on the show. This is wonderful. I'm going to look into this. I'm going to check out your school. I invite parents who want more for their young folks when it comes to education to definitely check out Empowered Minds Academy for sure.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You have a beautiful day, and I hope to see you. You said June 20th?
Yeah, we take possession on June 20th. And thank you. I guess that is going to be an event.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. And I will be there. I don't
Okay.
know what time. I don't know what time you're going to hold it, but we'll talk about it. It's just a few weeks away.
It is. It's not far at all. It's not far at all. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks again, 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟.
Thank you.
And have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye. That was so awesome. Oh my gosh. So this is why I do Bull City Hangout. I want people to know what's happening today in Durham. I want people to know about the progressive, the cool, the positive. So if you want to be involved, be sure to read the Durham Skywriter first of all, durhamskywriter.com, and then follow Durham Skywriter on Facebook and Twitter and all those good things. Thank you, Tachi. I really appreciate you saying that. Conversations, what I'm all about, and information as well. If I am missing anything in Durham Skywriter, you will notice, after all, if you go to Durham Skywriter this week, it is production week, so you will see slowly information going from May to June. That's how I do it. That's why I say that I cover 1 month, for example, the month of June, and also up to the second week in July. And that is because it takes a week, basically, for me to change everything over slowly. So you can see a lot of changes already on the Let's Go page. That's already well underway. And the other pages will follow suit in a few hours, in a few days. So with that, you have a beautiful day, beautiful afternoon. I will see you tomorrow at noon. It's going up to what? 75 today. It's going to be 84 tomorrow. So let me know what's going on. I know a lot of us are also feeling a little disturbed, a little distressed, if not a lot distressed. But just think of the kids, think of the future, think of the world the way it's going to be. After all this dies down, changes will be made. Like I was saying the other day, we want effective, strategic change. It's nice to express yourself and to get mad and to lash out when you have to. That is a good way to get attention. I don't agree with destroying things, but it is good to let people know how you actually feel. That's what counts. And like I said, effective strategic change is what I'm looking forward to. It's already happening. It's starting already. And let's just stay with it. You have a beautiful day. I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Ciao for now.